Northumbria is famous for being the county of castles and historical places, every one of them having a spook myth or legend collected over the years. Perhaps the earliest recorded incident was at Lindisfarne in 793 AD. A group of monks at the priory witnessed lights and dragons breathing fire in the sky. Was this the first UFO sighting? Or perhaps a result of an excess of the local brew? Whatever it was, they put it down to an evil omen, and true to form, shortly after, the priory was raided by Vikings. There's also been seen near the castle a huge white dog that jumps out at passers-by before disappearing back to his lair. The island is also said to be haunted by Constance de Beverley, a nun that fell in love with a knight and was put to death for her trouble. At Berwick, a rich merchant, a victim of the plague, was found to have led a corrupt life and was refused burial on consecrated ground. Each night he left his grave and went in search of human blood and flesh, and was heard to say, "Until my body is burned, Berwick folk will have no peace." 10 men were selected to exhume the corpse, cut it up and burn it. This rid the town of the vampire. Around the battlements is also the site of the phantom piper, often seen playing his selection of dirges and laments. Those that have heard him say they'd rather have the vampire back. Just before you come into Heartburn, there's a dip in the road where cars have often swerved to try and avoid a phantom lady who crosses there. Mitford Castle has been here since the 1100s. A local witch, Meg Melden, who died in 1631, has been seen near this bridge trying to find her hidden gold. Within the castle, it's quite spooky, even on a warm summer's day. Not surprising, as it's haunted by an old warrior that waves a sword in one hand and the screaming head of his last victim in the other. Meldon Churchyard has some very old gravestones, depicting skeletons and sands of time that have run out. Inside the church is the effigy of William Fenwick, and it's said to blink. Probably someone said on passing, "Oh, I went to Meldon Church the other day. Nothing much there, just that blinking statue of Billy Fenwick." Blinking statue, yeah, that's right. The picturesque Alnwick Castle legend has it to be the resting place of Lancelot. However, during the 1100s, a vampire who was thought to be a one-time lord of the estate lived beneath it and came out at night to attack the villagers. The last straw was an outbreak of plague that he was blamed for. Naturally, they were a bit peeved with this activity, so they dug him up and burned him. Your Old Cross pub, known as the Dirty Bottles, which are said to be cursed after a Victorian landlord dropped dead after placing them in the window. They haven't been touched since. The village of Alnmouth was, according to the founder of the Methodist Church, John Wesley, a small seaport town famous for its wickedness. The Schooner Hotel is a 17th century coaching inn. Past guests have been Charles Dickens and King George III. However, it's been named the most haunted pub in the county by the Poltergeist Society, with over 3,000 sightings in the past few years. Ghosts include a soldier, a maid, and even a chicken. Warkworth Castle has a few ghosts. However, in 1994, Metro Radio had a live broadcast from there on Halloween. Over 300 people saw a face at a window that was closed and inaccessible. Dunstanburgh Castle, or what's left of it, has been there since 1313, and it was once one of the largest and grandest fortifications in northern England. It's now haunted by an ancient knight, Sir Guy the Seeker, who searches for a beautiful woman said to lie in an enchanted state deep below. A royal ghost, Margaret of Anjou, who was wife of Henry VI, is also said to haunt the battlements. Craster, home of the Kipper, also has Craster Towers. It has a grey lady who enters the front door and goes upstairs to the dining room. There's also been heard swords clashing outside by two duelling ghosts. Before the tower was built, it was the site of an old fisherman's cottage. A murderer was trapped inside while it burnt to the ground. Oddly, his body wasn't burnt at all, just perfectly kippered. Up on the moors, be very careful of the brown man. He dishes out harsh punishments to anyone who hurts the wildlife. In 1791, William Winter was hanged at Gallowgate for the murder of Margaret Crozier. A specially made gibbet was erected near Elsen, where the body was hung and left to rot. He has on occasion been seen there. What's really strange is that the wooden head that's there now sometimes swings even when there's no wind at all. We have a few ghostly ladies along the coastline. At Deleval Hall, for over 200 years, the Grey Lady looks out from a window for the return of a lord. On Seahouses shoreline, a once good-time girl who went from rags to riches then back to rags is often seen looking out to sea. Bamburgh, once the capital of Northumbria, its imposing castle sits on the site of older fortifications and has inherited its spooks. In the keep, a knight in all his armour has been seen noisily making his way through the halls. A pink lady has been seen in the grounds, thought to be the daughter of a Northumbrian king. A green lady has also been regularly seen jumping from the battlements and disappearing. Now for the most haunted castle in the world, Chillingham, seat of the Earls Grey. Mary, who pined away in the castle after her husband ran off with her sister, is often felt brushing past visitors. A blue boy has often woken guests with his fearful cries. Even the name of the place sends shivers down your spine. A lot of ghosts, werewolves and vampires have been put down to legend and folklore. There are one or two that just can't be explained. Do I believe in them? Well, I have to, don't I?